Star Trek TNG's classic Borg two-parter is even better if you know its secret. Star Trek The Next Generation's iconic Best of Both Worlds two-parter remains a highlight of the Star Trek franchise, but it's even better when you know the behind-the-scenes details. TNG Season 3 ended with Star Trek's first major cliffhanger, the words, "To be continued," appearing on screen for the first of what would become many times. Even today, The Best of Both Worlds, Part I, is one of television's best cliffhangers, and it works for several reasons. But the context of what was going on behind the scenes makes the success of the two-parter even more impressive. When the USS Enterprise D goes to investigate a potential Borg attack, they find themselves facing off against a Borg cube. Proclaiming resistance is futile, the Borg captures Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, and assimilates him. As the new mouthpiece for the Borg, Picard, as Locutus, leads a devastating attack against the Federation at the Battle of Wolf 359. As The Best of Both Worlds, Part 1 ends, Commander William Riker, Jonathan Frakes, orders the Enterprise to fire on the Borg cube, with Captain Picard aboard. Star Trek TNG's The Best of Both Worlds is even better if you know its secret when the Star Trek The Next Generation writers were working on The Best of Both Worlds Part 1. They had no idea how the story would end. Executive producer Michael Piller wanted TNG Season 3 to end on a cliffhanger, which was something Star Trek had never done before. Piller himself was considering leaving the writing staff, and contract negotiations were still ongoing with some of the cast members, including Patrick Stewart. With so much up in the air, neither the writers nor the actors knew how the second half of the story would play out. The cliffhanger made the wait over the summer of 1990 for the resolution even more tense for Star Trek fans. At the time, rumors swirled that Patrick Stewart was leaving the cast, and the episode left room for that possibility. Thankfully, Stewart stuck around, as did Michael Piller, although much of the writing staff was new. While The Best of Both Worlds, Part 2, may not be quite as spectacular as Part I, it brings the story to a satisfying conclusion, an impressive feat in and of itself considering the uncertainty behind the scenes. Why Star Trek fans love TNG's The Best of Both Worlds, with a strong story and cool sci-fi set pieces. The Best of Both Worlds mostly works on its own, even for those who have not seen every previous episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. The cliffhanger ending of Part I and the wait for the conclusion of the story are also a big part of the draw. Modern television shows end seasons with cliffhangers all the time, but this was not as common in the early 1990s. And the uncertainty behind the scenes meant the resolution of the story was anything but a foregone conclusion. The Best of Both Worlds incorporates horror elements into its sci-fi drama, presenting Star Trek's Borg at their most frightening and giving every main cast member a moment to shine. For fans both new and old, the story was a compelling one, made even more so by the fact that Captain Picard's life was in real danger for the first time in the series. While Picard had been in peril before, he always had the plot armor of being the show's lead. But with Riker set up as the new captain of the Enterprise D, Picard's life was left hanging in the balance.